Hey everyone, I'm Angela Fazio, and right next to me is Sam Staskal, and we have an amazing guest today. Her name is Felice Katz, and she's going to talk to us about how do you succeed in a major way in an itty bitty small little market. So Felice, thank you so much for being a guest. I am so excited. I know Sam is too, to hear your tips about how to succeed in a small market. And so please get us started and tell us just a little bit about yourself.
Okay, good morning, everybody. First off, I'm funny on camera, so if I make funny faces, just ignore me. This is what you get. This is it. So I know we all say, "Oh, I'm gonna lose 10 pounds. I'll get there," but yeah, whatever. This is it. So when you see me in person, this is exactly what I look like, just like my photo and even my caricature. Anyway, I live in the town of Pine Top Lakeside. A lot of people know it as Shiloh, also Arizona. In the past 3 years, I've sold over 366 properties. So, wow. Yeah.
By yourself.
Yes, I have a full-time licensed assistant, which is my first tip. If you don't have an assistant, you are the assistant. I know we've all heard that. The best advice someone gave me at one point was, hey, why are you doing all your own transaction coordination? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? And I go, I know, look at my gray hair. My hairdresser loves me. It's crazy. You can't keep up. You're doing stuff at 11, 12 at night. And I'm usually in bed by 8, guys. So I figured find out what I'm good at, stick with it, and hire others to do it. And I know everyone's first response is, I can't afford it. I can't afford it. You know what? That $6 Starbucks, give it up. Do what you have to. Buy a $2 cup of coffee. Make changes. Skip dessert when you're going out to dinner. Okay, well, no, don't do that. That's the best part of it. But find a way to sacrifice to figure out what you need to do to get someone to help motivate you. Typically, and lighten up your load. Typically, you need an assistant when you're doing 5 to 6 transactions a month. Realistically, I would have a transaction coordinator from the get-go. If I had to go back 7 years, that would have been the first person I hired. So mistake, take from an expert, guys. Definitely something you need to do.
Yeah, you know what, Felice? The year when we were selling, when Chuck and I were selling, we went from 12 million to 17.5 million. Then we went to 22 million. And then when we hired somebody full-time to help us, we jumped to 40 million in production.
It's
It was
nuts.
huge. It was huge.
I went from 20 million by myself to doing 44 million. That was nuts. And guys, when people tell you, for me, my best motivator is when someone says, you can't do it. We don't need any more realtors or brokerages in our community. That was the best motivation for me. I love when someone says, no, I got this. Prove them wrong. We used to do drinks and cocktails and go to social events with those people. No more. And by the way, my numbers out exceeded his entire brokerage. So if he's watching, he knows who he is. That's a
sweet victory.
It is. And you know what? We forget to celebrate, right? The most important thing is when you close that first deal or you get your first listing, go out with that significant other, special person, family member, whoever, go celebrate. That is the most important. Every win is a win, no matter what size it is. And be you. I know everyone's trying to be someone else. I want to be that superstar on YouTube, on Reels, and this and that. I'm not that girl. I do need to start and get better on YouTube. And just like this is getting me out of my comfort zone. But do you, there's, people get who you are. They want to know who you are, and be real when you're posting about you. Don't be fake. The other and second tip, I guess I would say, that's important in a small market is know the community you're in. We are in a very large second home community. I'm a full-time resident. That's really important to the clients to know. They're not working with someone that just shows up here and there to do business. I live here, I work here, I'm involved. Get involved in charities in your community, guys. Whatever your passion, whether it's religious, whether it's we sponsor the Darren Reed Memorial Foundation for a fallen officer. I'll tell you what, thank you guys, because I do get a free pass when I am speeding a little. That's a great benefit, but it's a really good cause, and it gives money back directly into the community in the form of scholarships. So whatever it is you do, whether you volunteer at a food kitchen or something, you've got to be involved in your community and know what's going on, whether it's if you have kids in high school still, if you're going to all the sporting events where you sponsor the team and your name's on their jerseys. Figure out what you're comfortable with and do that. That's how people know you and love you. That's the key. You're not just selling them something. You're involved in one of the top 5 decision things they do in life. Think about it, right? Palm of your hand. We live, we die. Can't control those. We marry or have a significant life partner, have kids or we adopt kids, right? Or pets. So whatever, then we buy and sell houses. I mean, if they're letting you in to this very small piece of their life, you need to take that seriously and value that, because it's all about the relationship. It's not about that I've sold 300 plus homes in 3 years, or in the 7 years I've been in business, made millions of dollars. That's irrelevant. They don't care, seriously. And no one cares how you did on your test. Get over that, guys. That's just goofy.
So one of the things that I hear, Felice, that people say living in small towns, like, oh my gosh, it's everyone knows my business. I'm like, well, if you're in real estate, you want everyone to know your business. And so you have to have, I think you also have to clean up your mindset and say, I'm in a small town. This is where I've chosen to live. Everyone's going to know my business and I'm going to make sure of it. Right?
Absolutely. You can't hide. I mean, seriously, guys, here's the key. I'm going to see them at Walmart. That's what we've got. That's our shopping, or out to dinner, because we only have 15, 20 restaurants. So you are going to run into people, you're going to run into your clients, and keeping top of mind with them and letting them see you real. That's the biggest key. I go to Walmart with my hair up in a little Pebbles Flintstone bun, no makeup on, sweats, because it's Walmart, guys. I'm not getting dressed up to go to Walmart. And also, this is how I go show homes. I'm not in heels. I'm not dressed in a suit. We walk on cinder driveways and in snow. Know your community. There is a cute agent here, love her to death, but she goes out in heels. I'm like, you are going to break an ankle showing a home. It's not worth it.
Or you might fall down and your dress will go over your head.
Right.
That might happen too.
Take it from me.
I did land on my booty one time. That was the most embarrassing thing ever. It was very slick, and I'm like watching out for my clients saying, hey, don't slip. And who goes down? It was me, right on my butt. It was like, got up, dusted off. I'm like, let's go. I went home. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm really sore. But no one got injured but me. It was okay. And it was more ego than anything. I was so embarrassed. That's the other thing. Get rid of your ego, guys. It's taken me a long time to realize that. It's not about me. It's about what I can do for my clients, and it's about what I can do for others. When I finally let that go, it's amazing. Like, it's emotional, where you can actually take things in your business. It can slow you down. It can increase your numbers. It's not always about the next number, the next dollar, because my best year ever was in 2020. Last year, I took a $300,000 pay cut, and people are like, what? And I'm actually super proud of that, because I took time. I can make all the money in the world. I can't buy time. And when you get to that reality of what is most important, I'm a grandma, you guys, and my grandson, hey, honey, you got to get out of here. I'm on a Facebook Live. That's when your husband doesn't realize what you're doing and walks in. Welcome to the meeting, guys.
I know, right? I have a question for you. So you obviously have given some great tips, regardless of what market that you live in, and you were specific to say, especially in a small community, go get really involved in the community and be yourself. So what other really specific small market, I've never worked in a small market, like small market things should people be aware of for success?
Play nice in the sandbox. Because remember, these are agents you're going to do multiple transactions with, not just one and done. And gosh, I hope I never work with that person again. Because guys, real estate isn't glamorous like everyone thinks it is. It's not like all the reality TV shows. You are going to have some rough moments in every transaction. You're going to have rough moments with some certain agents, and we're going to all kind of dread those things. But just remember, I'm going to see them at Walmart. I'm going to see them out at the steakhouse. I'm going to see them on the soccer field. Play nice. It's a big sandbox. And if you don't like the sandbox, go find another one to work in. It's that simple. That the other agents are equally as important as the clients you're working with. Because again, everybody knows everybody, and everyone's going to remember that. And you don't win them all. You don't. You're not going to win over certain people. You're not going to win over certain clients. It's okay. Get out of your pity party, move on. It will just take you to bigger and better. Because guess what? I'm really good and I've lost things too. And it hurts. We cry for a moment, get up, shake it off. Doesn't matter again, small community, large community. But realistically, just be nice to everybody. It will come back to you tenfold.
I totally agree that play nice in the sandbox is important for everybody, but particularly in a small town, because you're not going to avoid having multiple transactions, with the same people. So why get this terrible reputation of being either horrible cross-sale agent or an agent with an ego or an agent with an attitude.
Hard to work with.
To work with, right? You up your game. Everyone
we
should
all
up
know
their
some.
game.
We all know some that are like that. And I was, they don't enjoy their job anymore if that's the way. The way I look
exactly.
at it. They should quit.
Think about it. We're ranked like used car salesmen and lawyers. Guys, we're not, everybody doesn't think we're amazing and worth what we do. We have to prove our worth, and we have to prove why they deserve to work with us. It's not just why we deserve to work with them. It's a mutual thing. And don't undersell yourself. We're all seeing these changes in the marketplace, and that breaks my heart. This is not a give away our service industry. We earn our commissions. We do a good job for our clients. Don't undersell yourself to get the deal. I just walked away and lost a $1.1 million listing because I gave them the true value of their home. Why did I lose it? They gave me a different reason. It's okay. I know someone gave them a false number, and as soon as it hits the market, it's going to sit and it's going to sell. Don't change your values to earn something. It's not someone or something you have to or should ever work with. So just be who you are, do what you do, and just stay honest to yourself. It will all work out and it will all come.
So I have a question for you, and it seems like common sense to me, although you guys are both in small markets, I'm not. But I would think that your professionalism and the way that you conduct your business and the way that you treat people, cross-sell agents, I think that would be even more important in a small market, because I get the feeling that once you get a reputation, you got a reputation, and it'd be harder to like in my market, there's so many real estate agents. If I just am a jerk for a while and I'm like, gosh, I'm a jerk, I need to change. And I go and change, that jerk doesn't necessarily have to stick with me my whole career. I mean, am I right or I don't know.
Yeah, here it would definitely stick.
Yeah,
absolutely. It's that small of a market. It would definitely stick.
Yeah. And even though you're not supposed to be blackballed, they'll blackball and not show your listings. They will avoid and tell their clients, oh yeah, I'm not working with that agent. And guys, we know what our ethics, and we know the code, and we know what we're supposed to follow. Does everybody? No. That's why I always say, take the high road, do the right thing, and you will always prevail. But you are so correct. It's okay. John walked in on our Facebook Live. It's all good. You have a sense of humor. Create one if you don't have one, because if you can't laugh at yourself, come on. But yeah, no, Sam, you're so right. It will stick with you. It will stay with you. And when you start to get that way, get out. It's time. If you just have that mindset, it's time to retire or find a new career. It's okay.
But, it's also true that if you're awesome and your clients love you and are loyal to you, then that spreads like wildfire.
Absolutely. I would say about 85% of my business is referral based. And thank the heavens, because right now, as we all know how difficult it is to procure those listings, you've got to have those referrals, you guys. That is so important. If you're in a small community, reach out to the larger cities around you and go, hey, if you've got someone looking for a home in my town, I still old school it. I'll send postcards. I'll do letters. I know it's a little archaic, but sometimes archaic works. And I have to remember the client base I'm working with. Sometimes we're archaic. Heck, I'm getting in that archaic group. Ow. I'm a grandma now. It happens. We use that word now. I'm like, oh.
I'm a grandma too.
Yeah. It's the best thing ever. It changes your whole perspective on things.
So you've given, I want to just summarize for some people who jumped on late. So you've talked about, getting involved with the community, especially in a small community. We're talking, remember, especially in small communities. I've heard be super careful how you treat people, because the reputation is going to stick. I love the tip about reaching out to larger cities around you, making yourself known. That's an awesome tip. Give us one last tip as we finish up today.
Oh, wow. I'm like, I'm just flying here, guys. Really it's the reach of anyone you know and those connections. Just because you're sitting in a small town that half the people didn't know where I live in the world, it was reaching out to other realtors with, I mean, think about it. We're with EXP. I used to be with HomeSmart. I still get referrals from HomeSmart. I'm not there anymore. Why? Because I made it a point to constantly keep in communication with those past people I've met, whether I met them at a conference, at a concert, doesn't matter, at the grocery store, out to eat. I talk to more people in the dang grocery store line. Why? Well, because we're always waiting. So just take those 2 minutes. Doesn't matter what you look like, what mode you're in, mindset. Just get there and go, hi, I'm so-and-so. I know you probably know 20 realtors, but if you ever need help in my area, guess what? Those goofy things turn into something. And even though other people say, don't focus on your grandkids, your dogs, whatever, I've gotten listings because I used to have Great Danes. So I disagree with everybody that says that. If you're proud of your animals or your grandkids or your kids, share it. People want to know.
Absolutely. I agree.
Yep.
Hey, Sam, I know you're in a small town. Is there anything in your mind that you would add to this conversation from your perspective?
Well, I think because we're in a smaller market, we see a lot of agents reducing the commission. So it's a battle of not only, we're lower income here, not poor, but we're lower income. The housing prices, I think the average house price is $155,000 right now, maybe. So every dollar matters to these people. A 0.5% of commission is a big win for them. So how do you do you deal with that, or how do you battle with that?
We do, because we have a lot of people from out of area coming to sell in our market now. And they're like, well, in the city, we do this. And in California, we do this. We hear that all the time. And I go, well, this is a different market. There's a lot of different marketing that's involved. I share what I do for them, and I'm sharing the value and statistics. That's when the numbers come into play. At that point, when I'm negotiating my value in the equation, they could sit on the market longer. Is that going to help them? No. If they're fighting over 0.5%, really do the math, span it out, show them. What if you sit on the market 60 extra days? Is that really
mortgage payments? Yeah.
Mortgage payments, insurance, stress. Is your stress worth it? And plus, typically, when you're a good realtor, you're going to get them more money anyway.
Yes.
The value.
That's what I was going to say. It's not just I always focus on, it's not just this commission where I'm doing my job. It's the negotiations of the contract. It's a million different things within the negotiations that if you have a real estate agent who's willing to, discount themselves, how hard are they going to work to make sure you don't get discounted, right? If I'm easy to drop 1% like that, how hard or how concerned am I for my negotiations for you?
Right.
I drop mine in a second, right? I just let my money that I feed my family with go out the window so easily. What will I do just to get your contract closed? If I'm cheapening myself, that's what I like to talk about. Like, I'm worth 6% or whatever it is. I'm worth it because I know my worth in negotiations, in the contract, looking at the contract details. So at the end of the day, your bottom line, regardless of what you're paying me, is going to be better. That kind of an argument.
Yep. Absolutely. It's always about what's it going to bring to that client. And
yes,
some get it, some don't. And if they don't get it, move on. You can't convince someone. You just have to know when it's time to walk away, and it's okay.
Yep. All right.
I just want to give a tip, because you talked about, playing nice in the sandbox. About a year ago, a new agent came into the area, and he called me one day, introduced himself, said he was a new agent in the area, just wanted to, be polite and get to know each other. Asked if I'd meet him for coffee, and we could talk. And that, I was super impressed. I'm like, God, I wish I would have done that when I was a new agent, formally call all the agents in the area and say, hey, I'm in your market now,
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome.
Waiting to meet him one by one, he called, and that's impressive. So if you're a new agent, I think that's a great idea.
You could do that now.
Yeah.
You could organize. And that's what I would do in a small community. I would treat the real estate agents in that community as a center of influence. Like, hey, let's all get to know each other, because if I know, like, and trust this other real estate agent, or they know, like, and trust me, they're going to be excited to work with me, and everything's going to get better, right? You could go out of your way, even as a seasoned agent, to go get to know the other real estate agents in the area. Hey, what's your specialty? What's your history? What are your goals, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How can I help you? It is our job. I always, when I'm on the other side of a transaction, once they've won, I'm like, I call them and go, hey, this is my transaction coordinator. We're both here. We're going to support you through the transaction if you have problems. Because I've written seller financing addendums for the other side. Why? Because it was an agent that had no experience, couldn't reach their broker. You just do what you need to do within the eyes of the law and just help. Because isn't our end goal to close the transaction and everybody wins?
That's our goal.
When we all share
Well,
that
you,
mindset, it's great.
yeah, you know what? I love all the tips, Felice. I know that you're such a rock star, and I appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to help people to learn and grow as a real estate agent. So thank you for your time today.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Thanks, ladies.
All right, guys. Thanks for listening. See you next time.
Bye-bye.